My name is Sully, better known as Pius. I can help with surahs, so I can recite.
My name is Suhaila, memorizing surahs, reading the Quran, and practicing the Sunnah.
My name is Mommy, better known as Ummi. Islamic education is key to the family. We tune in every day to learn something new, and Sunnahfollowers is helping us, and it could help you too. Tune in every day for new programming. Stay tuned.
And much more.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Rowing your deen and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the day of judgment is Sadaqah Jariyah. Yes, I know, I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free, and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the SunnahFollowers.net website, pressing the Donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen, guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, Sadaqah Jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment. Assalamu alaikum. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central to the Ask Sister Layla live Q&A with host lailanasheeba, where she tackles current day issues, your questions and concerns. Call in at 862-370-2838. Once again, that's 862-370-2838. See you there.
Join us for a highly anticipated new series, Heroines of Islam, hosted by lailanasheeba. Allow her to take you through time exploring the lives of these powerful, courageous, spiritual pillars of Islam. Learning about their lives through a lens, unique and explained through a woman's point of view using authentic hadith. Tune in every Monday and Wednesday 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Another Sunnahfollowers exclusive, Not One of Us, written by Sheikh Muhammad S. Adli, broken down and brought to you by host lailanasheeba. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Join us for this exciting new series on the Caliphate of Abu Bakr.
Assalamu alaikum. Join us for the new series here at Sunnah Followers on the book called Termites by Sheikh Muhammad S. Adli, hosted and broken down by lailanasheeba. Please join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Sunnah Followers.
Protectors of the Sunnah.
Hey, I got a couple questions for y'all. The first one, who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're one of those people that have been trying to get information and you come across this, or even this. All right, take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister lailanasheeba, the Managing Director and Founder of Sunnahfollowers Online Islamic University. As you know, we have classes every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover everything from Aqidah, which is your belief system, to Seerah, which are the stories of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the story of the companions. Please join us every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are broadcasting and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, DLive, Trovo, and Twitch. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. All right. All right, hold on, let me set this up. Hold on. I'm all messed up. What? Okay, I apologize. Ina alhamdulillah wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our welcome to our series. I'm sorry, I just had my COVID shot and I had the flu shot, and my arm is kind of sore, so I got to do this to it. She told me when it does that to just get the medicine moving. Okay, welcome to our series on Aqidah. And by the way, get your flu shot. Seriously, people, let me talk about that for a minute. You know, you need to get your shots. You know, remember the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that for every sickness comes from Allah, but he never sends a sickness without sending a treatment. So take the treatment. This is the flu season. You guys know the weather's changing. Yes, the leaves are beautiful and all that, but this is when people get sick. You know, the flu shots are available. You need to get to your local pharmacy and schedule you a flu shot, especially if you are a person that suffers with asthma like I do. Y'all remember how sick I got last year? I didn't get my flu shot last year, and boy, I never forget it. I couldn't breathe, couldn't talk for a whole month. It took me a month to get over that crap. And it wasn't COVID. Remember, I thought I had COVID and I thought I was dying. They said, you don't have no COVID. They said, you got, asthma, your lungs are inflamed. They said, you need to take the flu shot every year because I have respiratory problems. So I'm telling you, sisters and brothers out there, anybody that has respiratory problems like I do, asthma, this is asthma season. You need to go and get your flu shot and also the COVID booster. My doctor made me go do it. And she's telling me to get something else called some RSV, which I don't even know about that. She told me to get the RSV and shingle too. Subhanallah, because I'm telling you guys, the older we get, the weaker our body becomes. And I'm telling you, you don't want to get sick and you can't breathe. You sitting there. There's no cure for the flu, just like there's no cure for the COVID. But like the prophet said, Allah does send the treatment. So we got a treatment. The treatment helps it. It helps you to not get sick like I was last winter because I was hard-headed and didn't get my flu shot. That's the first year I went without a flu shot in 36 years because when I worked, my job required it. So I said, well, I ain't working. I'm retired. I ain't taking them shots. I'm going to see what happened. And I got sick. I was spent the whole month of January and February sick. So go get those flu shots and your COVID booster because the germs are out there. People coming around you, they might have COVID. They cough on you. All it takes is one cough, one sneeze. And you guys know people don't cover their mouths. Let's just talk about it. Muslims can be just as trifling as non-Muslims. How many of you don't cover your mouth when you cough? See, I'm a germ phobic. I'll throw you out my house. My granddaughter came over here with her mother. All my grandkids were here the other day. My daughter coughed and didn't cover her mouth. I told her, that's it. Pack up. I took the Lysol out and started spraying. I said, everybody get out. It's time to go. Okay? Some people like me, I don't like germs. So most people don't cover their mouth. So I'm telling you guys, the chances of you getting a virus are very high. That booster, COVID booster, and that flu shot, and whatever this RSV, I got to read about that. I ain't never heard of it. My doctor told me take the RSV too, especially since I got so sick last year that the asthma medicine wasn't working, So if you got respiratory, y'all better take it. It'll make it easier to get over it. You can take those little pills the doctor give you and the asthma puffer, and it works. But when you don't have that protection, you'd be like I was. I don't want to get sick like that again. I thought I was dying last summer. Y'all remember when that happened? Fresno, you remember when I was sick? Norto, y'all remember I couldn't talk, couldn't do my classes? I thought I was dying of COVID. And it wasn't COVID. It was the flu. Some crazy virus that they never even heard of. They said I had some flu virus that nobody even heard of. And that's because I didn't take the precaution. Can't let it happen this year. Woo, I'm thinking about it now. So anyway, guys, get your shot, especially you older women. And stop thinking everything is a conspiracy. Stop thinking that the white man trying to kill you. Stop thinking that America's putting a bug in you. The Arabs think that any type of vaccination is America spying on them, putting a bug in them. And then the African Americans think it's the white man. Stop thinking that ignorant stuff and go get vaccinated. Subhanallah. I know you get sore. The flu, the COVID arm is fine, but my flu arm is sore as heck. That flu shot is sore. But subhanallah, just move it around. All right, let's get started. Today is Friday. Before I begin my class, let me announce Dr. Dramali called me a few minutes ago. He canceled his class for tonight. As you guys know, Dr. Dramali's family is over there in Palestine, and he lost a couple of relatives, and he's upset. So he's canceled his classes for this weekend. This week, he'll try to resume his classes next week, inshallah. Everybody got that? So no class, and also that's Brother Youssef too. So Dr. Jamali and Brother Youssef's class, their class is canceled for this weekend. Okay, and let's make sure you guys keep the all the believers in your supplication. Ask Allah to give them all the ability to handle their qadr, whatever it may be, with dignity. Because that's the thing, we have to have that dignity. All right. Okay, so no Dramali class, but we do have my 9 o'clock Ask Sister Layla live. So make sure y'all remember, have the people have their questions ready for me tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Call In and Ask Sister Layla live show. If there's a question that I can't answer, y'all know, inshallah, Sheikh Morsi will be on standby to take your calls, okay? All right, so let's get started with this class. We have been discussing how having allegiance for Allah, for the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for each other is an obligation. And this is something that we as Muslims have to work on, because until our allegiance is right, we'll never be true believers. Y'all understand that? So we've spent the past week going over chapter 10 of the book, Diluting Wala Well Better. And by the way, for those of you who have not yet purchased this book, you want to head over to Amazon and pick up a copy of this book. It's only $19.99. And the book is written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. And I consider this book a masterpiece. This book and the previous book before it are masterpieces. Get to know your Lord, which I taught you guys about. That's the first part of the Shahada. Okay, and then this Wala Wal Better is the second part. So both of these books of this trilogy needs to be a part of everyone's library. Okay. So chapter 10 went over how things how difficult it is for us as Muslims to maintain allegiance with each other. So that chapter covered things we can do to increase it, to better it. Number one, it all begins with seeking the proper knowledge of Islam, the proper understanding of Islam. And then after that, developing, working on changing our soul and training it to love only what Allah loves and to hate only what Allah hates. Because as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never be a believer, a true believer, until you love what Allah loves and only hate what he hates. This prevents us from transgressing the limits, because it doesn't entail personal feelings. And then after establishing that love for the sake of Allah, then we work on certain components of character building, such as number one, empathy. And we talked about how as Muslims, we need to do away with sympathy and instead replace it with empathy, because there's a big difference. Sympathy means you feel sorry for something. And so many of us Muslims are walking around with pity parties. We give pity parties to ourselves. That's why we can't handle our situations. Then we throw pity parties for others. And we end up transgressing the limits of Allah by doing stupid things like blowing up buildings and stuff out of anger. Well, empathy is different. Empathy doesn't entail the heart. It entails utilizing the brain. The heart is where your emotions lie. The brain holds our logic. When you empathize with a person and their situation, this entails putting yourself in their shoes. And when you put yourself in the shoes of someone else, you have to think, what would you do if this were happening to you? How would you handle this? And that's how we prevent all that transgression. You know, it removes the anger, it removes the pity, and instead makes you focus on what Allah likes, what Allah dislikes, how to bring about the balance. Because as Muslims, we're supposed to be all about the balance, okay? So empathy is a characteristic that we need to work on developing, because by developing that, that'll help us to grow to be able to look at each other. And instead of seeing the bad or the things that we don't like, we'll put that personal crap aside and only see what's pleasing to Allah. And with empathy comes compassion. Once we can master empathy within ourselves, that will in turn help us to become more compassionate. And once we develop compassion, what does that lead to? That leads to justice. That's why Allah says, you Muslims are a just nation. We're balanced, because instead of all that pity that the Christians had, you know, we got empathy. And because of that empathy, unlike the Jews, we have compassion. The Jews lacked compassion. And because we have those two characteristics that they lack, now we are a just nation. We are justly balanced. We don't allow our emotions to get in the way of our decision making. And we end up helping everyone. Not based on race, not based on color, not based on religion, but based on what's right and what's fair. Everybody understand that? That's what that basically summarizes what we discussed in chapter 10. So now we're moving on to chapter 11. And everybody get your books out. I'm going to put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Yeah, I know the light. You know, you can see the light in my room. I don't know why. It's just the light. I know my curtain rods should be here today, and then I'll be able to block the light here in this room. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me put it on so you guys can see from the beginning. Okay, everybody should have prepared by reading ahead. Today, we're going to cover the first part of chapter 11. And this chapter addresses the significance of disassociation. We talked about, you know, el-wala. El-wala refers to developing allegiance to Allah, allegiance to the Prophet, allegiance to each other. The second part is bara. Bara is disassociation. So this chapter is going to address bara. And this is where Muslims have a hard time. Okay? We have a hard time because many of the Muslims here come from Christian backgrounds. And let me talk about that for a second. I remember back in the early 2000s, back when they had that program called MySpace. I had a lot of new converts, new women who had just converted to Islam because they married Arabic men. They converted to Islam and they joined my website to learn about Islam. And I went over, this is what I teach, Aqidah. I've been teaching the same classes since 1986. So I was teaching them el-wala wal-bara. And I was telling them that hate is a part of faith. We went over the hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never be a believer until you hate for the sake of Allah. Those women went bonkers on me. Oh, they said, you're crazy. God is love. God is good. Eat your peas like you should. I mean, they could not understand that. And then they told their husbands. about it. And then they went to the masjid. These women, most of them lived in Texas. They went to their communities in Texas and said, this woman is teaching hatred, that God is hate, Allah is hate, and all this. And these imams, I'm so shocked, those imams supported those women. But I know why now they did, because they weren't upon what I'm upon anyway. But anyway, okay, another story. I could not get those women to understand that this is a component of faith. I couldn't get them to understand that when we hate, it's not personal. We're hating the things that Allah hates. They said Allah doesn't hate. He's good. Eat your peas like you should. You know, they couldn't get past that word hate. And I remember one of those imams calling me saying, Sister Layla, don't you think that you should probably use better words? I said, what better word is there to use other than hate? That's what Allah uses. Well, you know, you need to change it to maybe there's some things that are not approved of. I said, approved of don't mean the same as hate. The Prophet said hate is a component of faith. He didn't say don't approve of is a component. I said, oh, Lord, these people are crazy. But anyway, you know, now I think here we have 20-something, 30-something years later, though, I hope those women, the ones that are still Muslim, because many of those women apostated, unfortunately. But the ones that did remain Muslim, I hope they understand that this is a component of faith. I've always taught the true Aqidah. I've never deviated away from what I'm teaching now. Okay, you will never be a believer until you train yourself to hate the things that Allah hates. It's not personal. It's business. Okay? And I want everybody to understand that hate is not a bad word. Okay? It's a component of faith. So let's look and see this chapter. This chapter is going to speak about the significance of distancing yourself within the framework of Islam. In this chapter, we're going to explore how the concept of distancing yourself plays a crucial role in shaping your behavior among other Muslims and non-Muslims too. El-Bara. This refers to distancing yourself from anything that contradicts the teachings of Allah, the teachings of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the religion of Islam. Anything that contradicts what Allah says, anything that goes against my Islamic values, anything that goes against my Islamic principles, I'm going to distance myself away from it. This is one of the ways of showing hate for the sake of Allah. So al-bara entails having a strong aversion and a strong rejection against anything that opposes our Islamic teachings. I hate cigarettes. I hate intoxicants. Allah hates cigarettes. Allah hates intoxicants. It's not personal, okay? So since I hate cigarettes and I hate intoxicants, I'm going to distance myself away from them. I don't go to events that entail drinking, that entail smoking. I don't go around people who drink, people who smoke. I stay away from environments that have drinking and smoking in the public. That's why I move way out into the suburbs. People do it, but it's behind closed doors. I don't want to see it, be a part of it. That's distancing yourself away from whatever opposes, what Allah likes. Everybody understand that? Okay? And that's what this chapter is going to speak about. Also, Kareem Abu Zayd tells us that he's also going to examine the psychological process involved in distancing. Because in order to distance yourself, this goes beyond your personal preference, your personal inclinations. It requires you to engage in critical thinking, self-reflection, and moral discernment. So that's a psychological process that we have to embark upon in order to effectively distance ourselves. And by doing this, using your thinking, your critical thinking, and your self-reflection, it'll help you develop a deep understanding of Allah's laws, Allah's principles. For example, you will learn, for example, to love the fact that you have to cover your body. By distancing yourself away from those women that don't, and we look at the reasons why, because what Allah says it leads to, it'll make you want to dress the correct way, and you'll dress the correct way, and you'll hold your head up with pride because you are doing what Allah likes for you to do, and you're distancing yourself away from those who don't. So it's a psychological process too. And also in this chapter, we're going to explore the influence and power that distancing has on relationships, and the power and influence that distancing has on building relationships too. So inshallah, I'm hoping that through this chapter, and I'm going to break it down in even plainer English for you, that we'll walk away, unlike those MySpace women, understanding that hate is a part of faith if it's applied the correct way, through distancing, through well-bara. Okay? So let's see how Sheikh Karim Abu Zayd begins this chapter. He begins this chapter by speaking of the significance. Why it's so significant to distance? Well, in Islam, distancing leads to unity within the Muslim community. Why? Because it entails having hatred, rejection, and aversion, as we said, for those things that are bad, those things that are dirty, that Allah commands us to stay away from. Okay? And it'll also protect us from people who hold hostile views, people who hold opposing views, people who engage in actions or ideologies that can contradict our belief system. That's why it's important, guys, for you to not have your children in non-Muslim schools, man. Why do you people have your kids in non-Muslim schools? You're exposing your children to ideologies, lifestyles, hostilities, and concepts that totally contradict our belief system. And then you wonder why your son will come home and tell you that he ain't practicing Islam no more. Your daughter will come home and tell you she ain't dressing like that. She gonna get her a boyfriend. Look what you've exposed them to. Those ideologies and lifestyles that totally contradict ours. Had you distanced them away from that, they wouldn't have come to you with this. So y'all see, that's el-wala and well-bara. That's well-bara. Okay? Also, when we distance ourselves physically, we're also doing it consciously and doing it within our heart too. How are we doing it within our heart? It's helping us to resent those bad things that Allah doesn't like. Okay? It's causing us to resent all which opposes him and opposes his messenger, the religion, and the unity of our ummah. And as a result of distancing yourself against those things, where does your attachment grow? Your attachment grows with the Muslims, the children. Your children will attach to other children like them, who live like them, believe like them, act like them, look like them. So there's a lot of significance in distancing ourselves, guys. Well, better is not a bad term at all. Okay, it's just that we have to understand its meaning. And that's the problem. Most Muslims don't understand the meaning of it. Okay, ponder this verse. Allah says, in the interpretation of the meaning, you will never find a people who believe in Allah on the last day having affection or fondness for those who oppose him and his messenger, even if it were their family members, their father, their son, their brother. This is so true. A lot of people will come to you maybe and say, wow, you know, I don't think it's right that you threw your son out the house. Your son comes home, age of 16, telling you that he's going to sell drugs. He wants to be a dope man. So you put him out because you're not going to have that stuff. You know, the non-Muslims come to you and say, how could you have done that? He's your boy. He's your son. Yes, he's my son. But he wants to take on a lifestyle that totally contradicts how my lifestyle and his should be. So he got to go. I love him because he's my son, but I don't love him more than Allah because he is not Allah. Your children don't belong to you anyway. They are just simply temporary loans that Allah give to us to try us with. Sometimes those children can be a blessing for us, but unfortunately, most times they're not. They're disappointments. So again, that balance, because of el-wala, your allegiance. El-wala, your allegiance to Allah, helps you to balance your love for your children, your husband, your wives. Okay? So we're not going to put our love for them equal to or above Allah. So if we have to make a decision to distance, to cut off even a person, we can do that. Does everybody understand that? So that's what this verse is talking about. You know, you will never find a true believer loving anyone or anything that opposes Allah, that opposes the Prophet or the religion of Islam, even if it's their relative. Everybody understand that? So this verse emphasizes the importance of renunciation of anything or anyone that opposes our way of life. And in turn, by doing that, you're demonstrating, you're displaying el-bara, or distancing. Does everybody understand that? Simple process. But again, you can't get to el-bara, well better, without el-wala, allegiance. That's why we talked about allegiance first. You have to get that love and affection for Allah and the Prophet and religion and each other intact first. Otherwise, you will never make it to separation or distancing. Okay? Because that love got to be balanced, man. If your love is not balanced, you're going to make the wrong decisions. You're going to make the wrong choices, and Allah is going to hold you accountable. He's going to ask you, why did you allow your son to stay in your house and sell drugs out of it? Why didn't you stop it? Why didn't you put him out? You know what I said about intoxicants. Look at the lives he's killed, the lives he's damaged from doing that, and you pay in that sin. You pay a part in that sin. Okay. I want you guys to ponder this hadith of the Prophet. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the strongest bond of faith is to love for the sake of Allah and to disassociate for the sake of Allah. So for a parent that can do this, this shows how strong that mother, that father is in their faith. Okay? And by identifying and averting from those things that oppose our belief system, in turn, our hearts and actions become aligned with truth. And this brings about unity, righteousness, and spiritual conviction. Subhanallah. So let's talk about the psychological process that a person has to undergo in order to reach this level of where he or she can distance. Again, just like allegiance, el-wala, is not personal, neither is el-bara. Okay, we have to think. Your son tells you he's selling drugs. He likes the money he's making. He's not going to stop. He'll even give you part of what he makes so you can buy that new car, that new washing machine, that new refrigerator. You got to think, critical thinking. What would Allah say? If I bought that new car, I bought that new refrigerator. This is illegal money. That means if I, even gave in charity, Allah is not even going to accept my charity from this money. So again, distancing requires critical thought, reflection. This is where your faith is tested. Everything you know. When you're faced with a situation like that, where your son tells you he's going to sell drugs out your house, everything you know is now tested. And you're going to have to utilize your intellect. You're going to have to utilize your beliefs. You're going to have to evaluate your behavior. And you're going to have to evaluate it based on the laws of Allah. Y'all see, that's the psychological process of el-bara. And if the person is strong in their iman, they're going to do the right thing. They're going to say, this all opposes Allah. This all opposes the foundations of Islam. So I can't take part in this, and I'm not going to allow you to take part in it either. So that's the psychological process that we have to go through in order to distance ourselves from that which opposes our belief. We have this hadith whereas a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, by Allah, I have come to the prayer late. And the reason why I came late to perform the prayer is because I didn't want to pray with that person. That person prays too long. Ibn Masud said when that man told the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet got so angry. And then the Prophet gave a lecture. And he said he never saw the Prophet deliver a lecture filled with admonition and anger like that. In fact, the Prophet stood up and said, some of you run people away from the deen. You run them away from good deeds. Whoever leads a congregational prayer should keep it short, because the people in the congregation have things to do, and some of the people are weak, some are old. Okay? So again, this hadith here, this hadith emphasizes the importance of not allowing your personal reasons, such as anger or resentment, to motivate disassociation. This hadith shows how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when approached with this, he let it be known. I mean, subhanallah, you guys leading people in prayer. Don't you know people got to go to work? Can't nobody be late to work. People are sick, got knee problems, and you got them standing up for an hour. You know, subhanAllah, you got to put aside your personal desire to sing the Quran or whatever, and think about the people that you're leading. Think about how they come from different tracks and they got different obligations and different things to do. Okay, so again, that shows even when it comes to leading a prayer, you know, we have to think out our actions, because we don't want to do something that will cause the people to want to distance themselves from us. Y'all see that? And that's why I tell you young kids, a lot of the young men here and women are always sending me emails saying, how can I be a scholar? First of all, don't ever ask that, because I told you about a scholar. The true scholars are rare, you know. What you need to do is learn this deen. You don't want to end up being somebody who's looking for the fame, looking for the money, doing it for the wrong reason, and you make the people hate you because of it, because you over elongate it, you overdo it to show off, and you run the people away from you. And that's a big problem today. You know, a lot of us don't want to go. Look at me. I can use myself. I don't go to the mosque. Why come I don't go to the mosque? Because number one, you know, you can't hear the khutbah, because the women are too busy talking, too busy banging their heads on the floor or beating themselves up or singing hallelujah or whatever they're doing. Bad kids running all over. So I stay away from the mosque. I get no benefit there. Plus they cough and sneeze and don't cover their mouth. And you know these Muslims don't believe in taking COVID shots. I ain't getting that crap. Okay? You know, don't cause the people to dislike you and distance themselves away from you. And that's why the prophet was angry. You know, he said, oh, Mu'ad, because it was Mu'ad. He said, Mu'ad, are you a troublemaker? You are a troublemaker? You make the people not want to come together and pray because you overdo it? Subhanallah, balance. Balance. Don't give the people a reason to want to distance themselves from us, not the other Muslims. We have another hadith where a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Hunain, and there was some silver in the pocket of Bilal. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took a handful of it and gave it away to the people. And that man said, "Oh Muhammad, be just." The Prophet said, shame on you. Who would be just if I am not just? You would fail and lose if I were not just. And that's when Umar said, oh Prophet, do you want me to kill this man, this hypocrite, for saying that, for accusing you of not being just? And the Prophet said, no. He said, I seek refuge in Allah, that the people would say that I'm killing my companions. No, don't do that. He said, this man and his people will end up learning to recite the Quran. And they will learn to recite the Quran beautifully, but it'll never go past their throats. They will, because they won't understand what they're saying. And they will leave Islam just as an arrow passes through its target. And this happened. You know, these were the Mu'tazila. Okay, and the Kharijites, you know. Ouch, they came too. Oh, my leg. Okay. Some people can actually say things out their mouths that can cause you to dislike them and to not want to deal with them at all. But like the Prophet said, Allah will take care of him and his followers. Okay. But we have to watch what we say to people, guys. You know, be careful how we address the things that we do when we're leading the prayer. Don't overdo it, because you can cause the people to distance themselves from that. Some of the things we say out of our mouths can cause others to dislike us and distance ourselves from that. I do that a lot. When I find a troublemaker amongst me and my website, I don't deal with them. I just ignore them. I'll give a person a chance, and I'll give them a chance, but I'm not stupid. When women are very vindictive, women are very jealous. When I see that I got a person here who's always confronting me, challenging me, I eventually just say, I'm just going to distance myself from her, not deal with her. And that's why some of these students of mine like, why come Layla don't give me no attention? You know why? Every time I gave you attention, you want to come at me and confront me and challenge me. Hey, some people will cause us to distance ourselves from them because of the things they say out their mouths or the things that they do. So we have to be careful of that, guys. Watch the behavior that we exhibit with others, and watch our tongues when we're talking to others as well. Okay? We have another hadith. One of the companions says, my mother asked my father to give me a gift. He gave it to me after some hesitation. My mother said that she would not be satisfied unless the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was made a witness to it. I was a young boy. My father held me by the hand and took me to the Prophet. And he said, O Prophet of Allah, his mother requested me to give this boy a gift. The Prophet said, do you have other sons too? The man said, yes. The Prophet said, did you give them a gift too? He said, no. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not make me a witness to injustice. I will not become a witness to injustice. Again, guys, well-bara also means that we as individuals have to distance ourselves from things that oppose Islam. You can't show favoritism to one child over the other. And if a person asks you to witness that, you say, no, I have to distance myself from that. I can't be a part of that. So some of us, have to choose to distance ourselves when we see the laws or the rules of Islam being violated. Because remember, as Muslims, we're supposed to enjoy the good. We're supposed to forbid the evil. So that's another example of distancing. Okay, I can't be a part of that. I can't be a witness to you being unjust to your children. Just like those people don't want to be a part of that man's prayer because he makes them stay too long. So you see, el-bara, distancing is a part of our life, guys. We're going to have to either indulge in it ourselves, or we'll be faced with it from others. Okay? Also, we have another verse of the Quran where Allah says, in the interpretation of the meaning, whatever Allah has given to his messenger from the people of the towns, it is for Allah and for the messenger and for his close relatives and orphans and the traveler, so that it will not be a perpetual distribution amongst the rich from among you. And whatever the messenger has given you, take it. And whatever he has forbidden you, stay away from it. Now, this verse emphasizes the importance of cognitive understanding and emotional submission when it comes to adhering to the laws of Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So again, el-bara inspires us to develop balance and a holistic approach to our faith. And by having that balance and that holistical approach to our faith, we're able to navigate the world's difficulties with clarity and conviction. That's the psychological aspect of el-bara. Elbera, just like Wella, you're using your brain to think, should I be a part of this? Should I not be a part of this? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Let me give an example. Tis the season. Tis the season. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving will be here next month. Every Thanksgiving, you guys come and say, Sister Layla, can we celebrate Thanksgiving? If you would use El Wella Welbera, figure it out. You're going to have to think, does this holiday impede upon worship? Does this holiday contradict our way of worship? No. Allah commands us to give thanks. Nothing's wrong with giving thanks. Okay. So since this is not an act of worship that contradicts our worship, I can do it. Wait. There's another question you have to ask. Does this holiday impede upon my allegiance? By participating in Thanksgiving, am I showing allegiance to Allah? Is this showing allegiance to the Prophet? Is this showing allegiance to the Muslims? Did Allah say, give thanks to him one day out the year? Or did Allah say, thank him every day as often as you can? So that means, no, that's not showing allegiance to Allah, because Allah tells us the opposite. This holiday, we're thanking Allah just once out the year. Allah commands do it all as often as possible. So this impedes upon my allegiance to him. Did the Prophet Muhammad celebrate Thanksgiving? No. So by doing this, I'm again contradicting something that the Prophet did. Third question, celebrating Thanksgiving, is this uniting me with Muslims? Or is this showing allegiance to non-Muslims? Is this showing allegiance to pilgrims? Or is this showing allegiance to Muslims? Is this showing allegiance to Indians? Or is this showing allegiance to Muslims? This totally contradicts allegiance. So, no, I can't take part. I have to distance myself. Y'all see that? I'm just using this holiday as an example. This is what El-Bara again takes it out of that heart. It's not personal. You're going to have to use your brain to think. Is it contradicting my religious beliefs? Is it contradicting my allegiance? Yes, it is. So because it is, I'm going to have to distance myself. So again, in order to practice El-Bara, you're going to have to think. And that's what this verse is all about. Whatever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives us, we take it. Whatever he forbids, we refrain from. He didn't give us Thanksgiving. Okay? Allah didn't give us this either. This holiday is not showing allegiance to Allah because it's contradicting what he says. It's not showing allegiance to the Prophet because he didn't do it. And it's not showing allegiance to the Muslims because it ain't even about Muslims. It's about pilgrims and Indians. So that's an example, guys, as to how we engage and embark upon a psychological journey when dealing with El-Bara, which is good because, again, the heart is where the emotions get involved. The brain keeps it not personal. Everybody understand this? Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. I want you guys to pick up tomorrow for the next part of this chapter. Pick up from this, and I'm going to give y'all a quiz tomorrow. I didn't give you a quiz today, but I'm going to put it all tomorrow with what we're going to talk about tomorrow and today. I want y'all to think about this psychological endeavor. You're going to have to take it out of your heart and put it in your brain Put your personal feelings aside about Thanksgiving. Put your personal feelings aside about how you want to show the people that you can recite al-Baqarah in the totality. And instead, you got to use your logic. Is this something that Allah commanded me to do? What would Allah say? That's where your empathy comes in too. All right. So any questions or comments? I hope I made this clear for you guys. Any questions or comments? Let me look on here and see what's going on this thing too. And by the way, don't forget, guys, at 9 o'clock, we have the Call In and Ask Sister Layla live show. And bring your questions here. You can ask your questions here, or you can call in on the WhatsApp or on the phone and ask with that number too. And let me talk about this, guys. I meant to tell y'all, we are $200 in the hole. We need donations bad, man. I checked our account today. We are 200. We were 400. We were $400 overdrawn because of that program I forgot that I paid for. And they, oh God, so I put $200 in there. That's all I had was $2. So now we're $200 overdrawn instead of $400. Please support us, guys. I have to keep this, the videos coming. Y'all see the videos. I miscalculated. I think Zoom must have come out. That's what happened. Zoom is $200 a month. And I think I miscalculated something. But we need donations. Please support us, guys. We need them today. I need $200 today to get us out the hole. Otherwise, it's going to keep charging. All I could put was $200. That's the only cash I have. So I need somebody to donate $200 to get us out of the hole. And then we need more money to pay for whatever else is coming out. Remember, we're a nonprofit organization. And if you guys enjoy learning Islam like this, I mean, I spent a lot of time here, teaching the religion and putting the videos out and stuff. Please support us because we're a nonprofit. We're not with the masjid or anything. And it's just me and the old women here in the Zoom room. We're the only ones that run this website. And none of the money goes in anybody's pocket. I'm independent and self-sufficient. Alhamdulillah, I worked. I got a nice retirement check. I took $200 of that dollars and put it in this account, but that's all I could afford because I got to pay my bills, But so please, guys, donate to support us. Your money is going for the Muslims around the world to learn the religion. It's paying for the streaming. It's paying for the Zoom. It's paying for these programs. No, this is the cheapest. Everything that I'm using, I need. If I didn't have Zoom, then you wouldn't have me in here. So no, there's nothing I can cut out because I'm not using nothing that's really expensive. It's just that we are a website that's not affiliated with a mosque. All these other websites are affiliated with masjids, and it's $2,000 a month ain't nothing for a mosque to pay, especially when they get millions a month. It's just that everything I use is on a payment plan. We pay by the month. We poor. We're welfare. Okay, but we just need people to help support us. I don't have that. The only people that support us is us. The people are my students. But I need others. I mean, please make a donation, guys. All right, so I'm going to be back here at 9 o'clock for the Q&A. So make sure that you guys are here. Yeah, I can't cut out the Zoom. Yeah, that's what the brothers do. Oh, she can't cut out Zoom. No, I can't. Zoom is the platform that I use to host everything. If I got rid of Zoom, then it won't be no more streaming. Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm paying so much. I'm streaming through Zoom and this stream program. Yeah, I can't get rid of Zoom. The website will be gone. Yeah. All right, guys. So anyway, yeah, what is this? Yeah, brother. Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah, the brothers can call in too. Yes. Yeah, just if you got a question, you can just come in here and type it. Yeah, I can answer your questions too. If I can't, then I can call Sheikh Morsi. So the brothers got questions. Yeah, they can bring their questions in here. Most of my questions come from the brothers anyway. By the way, guys, I did check the statistics. I was shocked. 69% of my followers are male. Only 30-something% are women. Y'all understand that? Yeah, I got most of my followers are men, and I found that and it's climbing up higher. I got more male followers than I do women. Yeah, sister, I mean, it don't matter if it's 24/7 or not. Zoom's price is the same. Yeah, Zoom is Zoom. I'm streaming. When you streaming, you paying the same price. It ain't got nothing to do with how long you open. I'm on an unlimited plan with them. So no, I can't cut anything. If I cut anything, y'all won't have lailanasheeba no more. Y'all will be sitting there listening to Mufti and Imam and Sheikh come a dime a dozen. So nothing I can cut. I'm a poll website, $2,000. IRS told me that $2,000 is poll. I asked them, can I get some funding? They said, you don't need funding. They said, if you were making $20,000 a month, we can give you some funding. They said, if you can't raise $2,000, he said, you shouldn't have a website. That's what IRS said. We're cheap. We're a poor website. Can't even get government funding. He told me if your people can't donate $2,000 and you don't need a website. They said, we deal with people that's $20,000 a month. I said, whoa, that's how much them brothers be making. I said, them brothers be making $20,000 a month on their websites. Whoa. Yeah. All right, guys. So but you brothers can come and ask your questions. Yeah. Most of my followers are male. I don't have that many female. Yeah. Because women suffer with jealousy. Don't y'all know why? It ain't hard to figure out. Women are jealous of other women. The women are busy listening to the muftis out there. They're the ones that's following the muftis. That's why. The men are following me. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Zoomers? By the way, is Omar Hare here? Because Omar Hare is going to be bringing the questions from the sisters in Niger. Okay. Yeah. And where's Marianne? Is Marianne pregnant?
No.
Oh, that was quick. Is that Marianne?
Her big sister.
Oh, that's a big. Oh, because I said I ain't seen her. I thought maybe she was pregnant. Her and the brother got married. I'm so happy for them. They doing happy and they doing fine, aren't they? Her and her husband doing good.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Because he's a good brother. I'm happy for them. Yeah, she usually brings me questions. She don't have no questions from the Bantus.
Yes.
Well, tell her to bring them questions in here at 9:00.
Okay.
My Bantus. Yeah. Khadijah, you ain't pregnant again, are you?
No.
Okay. Because you got about 15 kids.
No.
Alhamdulillah. My Bantus. Yeah. Okay, guys. So make sure everybody is back here at 9:00 with your questions and answers. Wait a minute. What's this? Brother Adam, there's more levels than 7 or 8. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there are over 100 levels of paradise just reserved for the martyrs. So there's a lot of levels of paradise. You're asking about the gates. There are 7 gates, but paradise goes up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of levels. Only Allah knows how many. But like I said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there are at least 100 levels reserved for the martyrs. Yeah, but those type of things we shouldn't worry about anyway. Instead of worrying about how many levels of paradise, let's pray that we can get there. Let's try to make sure that you can be of paradise, because unfortunately, Allah tells us himself in the Quran that most people are going to be in hell. Hell will have more inhabitants than paradise. So rather than worry about how many levels there are, pray that you make it. Pray that you make it to paradise, because most people, unfortunately, ain't going to make it. That's the reality. Most people will not make it there. Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to close out for now. And inshallah, we'll be back at 9 p.m. Oh, you got questions too? Amina, good. How's your cousin doing too? Don't tell him that I asked about him, because if you tell him that I asked about him, you know he going to act crazy. But how's your cousin? Is he better? Is he better? Okay, brother. This brother said, thank you, sister. Allah rewards. I asked of paradise, not ending with alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I mean, yeah, you guys know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if a person says, oh Allah, grant me paradise. Oh Allah, grant me paradise. Oh Allah, grant me paradise 3 times. It's answer back, so it shall be. No, it's answer back. Paradise answers back. Oh Allah, enter him into me. Oh Allah, enter him into me. Oh Allah, enter him into me. That hadith is from Sahih Muslim. Yeah, so we should always ask Allah to free us from the hellfire and to enter us in the paradise. Because when you say that, the paradise answers back. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Sister Amina. Oh, he's in the hospital? Subhanallah. Oh, so they're trying to get him back together, though. So that's what they did to Gracie. Gracie was in the hospital, too. So they're going to get him back on his meds, inshallah. Because he's a good person. He just, needs to take his medicine. Yeah, inshallah, they'll put him back on his meds. Oh, subhanallah. I'll make dua for him. Yeah. Not because he asked, but you see, I'm going to make dua for him. See, that's how we do it. You don't go around asking the people to make dua. You make it for yourself, but people can make dua for you, and I'm going to be making dua for him because he's a good brother. He's a good brother. He just, that mental ill, that schizophrenia, man, that schizophrenia. And the sad thing is so many Muslims suffer with schizophrenia. So many Muslims have this schizophrenia. It's just, it's really sad. It's just, sad. Yeah, guys, you can make dua for the people in Palestine. That's the best thing you can do for them. Exactly. Pray for the people of Palestine. You suffer with schizophrenia too. Don't feel bad. Most of the people here do. I'm going to be honest. Most of my students have schizophrenia. Before I retired, my co-workers used to tease me. They used to say, Layla, you are a magnet. You attract people with mental illness because it seems like I'm just a magnet. I pull the people in that's got schizophrenia. I always have. And I help them to deal with it too. And I help them to deal with it and get over it. And it never goes away, but, I help them to deal with it. And also anxiety, because I have anxiety too. Okay. Yeah. They all do that. And that's the thing, guys, with these mental illnesses like schizophrenia and bipolarism, that's the thing. They stop taking the medicine. And the reason why is because the medicine, after being in their body for so long, it makes them loopy. That's why their body will get used to it, and it becomes they become chemically off balance. And so they'll stop taking it. So then they have to be hospitalized to get them back balanced. And then they'll take it for a while. And then that's just what that medicine does to you. It makes them loopy. Because my clients would be like, they don't feel right. Yeah. It's a hard disease. Exactly. A very hard disease to deal with. I spent the past 36 years working in that field. I worked with developmental retardation, and I dealt with mental health people. I dealt with both developmentally challenged people and also mentally challenged people. I dealt with both of them for the past 36 years. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what it does. The man, they get used to it and they just want to, they stop taking it. It makes them feel like nothing. That's what my clients would tell me. Case, I feel like nothing. And I don't want to take it. And that's when we would tell the doctors that they need to, evaluate them, because what they'll do is switch them to a different medicine. They'll switch them to a different medicine that won't make them feel that way. Yeah. Yeah, it's a heck of a thing. Yeah, I'll make do it for him. He's a good brother. I kind of miss him. He started getting crazy, but I missed him when he's sane. He's a good brother when he's sane. Yeah, remember when he said he was going to move here? He said he was going to leave Philadelphia. That's when I knew he was off his medicine. When he asked me, he said, Sister Layla, I'm getting ready to leave Philadelphia and I'm going to move where you are. And can I sit underneath you and learn? I said, what? He said, I'm getting ready to move to where you are. He said, and I'm going to come to your house and learn directly. I said, oh no, he's off his medicine. That's when I knew he was off his man. I said, oh, because he knew better. Exactly. And that's what happens. Their body gets used to it. Their body gets used to it after so long. I know. So for my clients, they would reevaluate them every 6 months. Every 6 months, they would reevaluate my clients, the ones that were suffering with schizophrenia and bipolarism. They would reevaluate them every six months to see if their body was getting too accommodating for that medicine. Then they would switch them. And then when they switch into another meds, it would take 2 weeks. That would knock their balance off too, because it would take 2 weeks for the new medicine to get in their system. My poor clients, they struggle with that, man. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good brother, and I love him for the sake of Allah. I love your cousin for the sake of Allah, because he's been with me a long time. He just can't help it. The pen is lifted. The pen is lifted for him when he's like this. Yeah. The pen is lifted for him. And he's crazy about you. You know that. You his favorite. He feels he about you as if you were his sister. He loves you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think too. Because he was so excited. He was so excited about being a mental health technician. And I think it got to him, because that's when he said he wanted to find a wife. You know, he said, Layla, I got 2 jobs. He said, I'm so proud and I can now look for a wife. But then it made him break. He started looking at me for a wife. No, you can't marry me. No. Oh, poor thing. Yeah, I will. Sister Rashida, inshallah. Yeah, Sister Fatima, you're struggling with it too now? Yeah, I know. It's rough for y'all. It's rough for y'all with that schizophrenia. And I want y'all to know Ramadan's coming up. For you Muslims that got that schizophrenia, you know, I want y'all to not make it worse for yourselves with that fasting. You guys don't have to fast. That's another thing I go through every Ramadan. My schizophrenic clients, students, they end up fasting and they get chemically imbalanced. Don't fast. You're exempt from fasting because even fasting will throw your body off. It'll throw your chemical balance off. So don't try to fast. Yes, it throws your chemical balance off. I know that for a fact. Yeah. Yeah, sister, I bought his book and I was so surprised to learn that. It runs in the family. His daughter had it too, and she committed suicide. Yeah, that's schizophrenia, guys. Y'all talk about jinn possession. That's when a person becomes possessed by their jinn. Yeah. When they stop taking their meds and that schizo kicks in, that's jinn possession. And that's when the pen is lifted, that person is not there. That's when their jinn is there and they do all kind of crazy stuff. That jinn will try to kill the person. That's what the jinn wants. The jinn will try to get the person to commit suicide. That's why you got to stay on that medicine. Because if you're not on that medicine and your jinn takes over, the jinn is going to try to kill you. He's going to try to kill you because he knows that is the sin that Allah hates, but the pen is lifted for y'all. The jinn too stupid to understand that. That's how stupid the jinn are. They too stupid to understand that the pen is lifted. But they will try to get you to kill yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Fatima, make sure you take your medicine. You hear? Yeah. And if you starting to feel loopy and stuff, go talk to your doctor and have them switch you, or lower the dosage or something. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at me. It's like I'm at work again. Let me get off here. It's time for me to pray. Y'all got me like this is the stuff I used to do at the job. Let me get out of here. Oh. Okay, guys, the Zoom room is open, and don't forget, I'll be back on at 9. No, if they're jinn, no. If once you lose your mind, the pen is lifted. You're not held accountable. No. For you guys, it's different. For people with schizo, it's different. Or, when that jinn is there, when they are not sane, the pen is lifted. They're not held accountable for nothing they do because they're not in control. It's their jinn. Allah knows his creation. It's when their jinn has taken control of them. And that jinn will cause them to do the worst things. It tries to get them to kill himself. Yeah. So no, they're not held accountable when that happens. But that's why you got to keep them on that medicine. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'll be back at 9 o'clock, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.